how to get rid of the pandemic weight.
Like, it's okay to have a cookie. Chest day with the bros, hit biceps the next day. It's like, you don't have to do that.
What would you say is the best way to get into better shape? What's up, everybody? It's me, Sydnee Goodman, and we're back with another video. So today's video is actually a little bit different than any of my other videos lately, which is exciting. But what I did was I asked you all on Instagram. One of my friends, Cody Taggart, is a personal trainer here in LA, and we decided to hop on a phone call and answer some of your most asked questions. And we talk about how to be consistent in a diet, like what you should be doing to lose weight, how do you start working out or getting healthy if you've never done that before, or maybe you've like gained weight in the pandemic, and which is very understandable, and you want to just like start moving and losing it and all of that. I hope you enjoy and that you get some goodness out of it. So I'm here with Cody Taggart, who, I don't know, we've known each other for like a hot minute.
Yeah, 3 years, something like that.
2 to 3 years. So Cody was a trainer at the gym that I was going to. However, we never trained together. And then we just kept in touch via Instagram because that is life in the digital age. How did you get to becoming a trainer?
Like a brief history of me. It's like, I don't want to make this sound like a pity story or anything like that, because it's not. I was always surrounded by love. I was always supported and everything. But I grew up, like I was always a fat kid growing up. My family struggled with money. We moved around a lot, got kicked out of house after house. We ended up homeless at one point. Had my fair share of battles with depression, anxiety, things like that. And then going into college, I just was feeling like the effects of like my depression, my anxiety, and everything like that. And I'd tried to drink and party my life away when I got into college, and I actually ballooned up to, I think at my heaviest I was 320 pounds. And then, so 320 pounds was my heaviest. And then 2 weeks before my 21st birthday, my dad had actually passed away from a heart attack. So a very sudden thing. Yeah. And that was my rock bottom. That was it for me. And trigger warning is like, I attempted to take my own life at that point. And that was the point, that was the moment I realized that I had to make a change. So I don't know, and I knew taking control of my health was one of the first things I needed to do. So and this is going to sound way easier than it actually was, but I lost 120 pounds, I became a personal trainer, and I just found a passion in helping other people improve their mental and physical health. And yeah, I just decided to go for it, and it took me from Michigan to LA, and now I'm here talking to you, doing cool things.
Thanks for sharing.
So I've been training for about 4 or 5 years now. I think closer to 5 years now. And yeah, I love it. It's great. I love everything about it.
What would you say is the best way to get into better shape?
I think it's important to kind of take a look at where you're at now, like take an objective look at where you're at now and see where you might benefit from like the most improvement. So like, because we're in quarantine now, a lot of us aren't moving as much as we used to be. So if you need some more movement in your day, right, just starting with something simple like a walk, like going for like an extra 10 or 15 minute walk a day. Or if you need help like nutrition wise, maybe just start with drinking an extra glass of water or adding some vegetables to your dinner. Okay, you don't need to change everything right away, because if you try to change everything right away, you try it, you might do it for a few days, but eventually you're going to get frustrated, say this, and then you're going to stop. Right? You can't screw this up, right? There's no date you have to be a certain, like, unless somebody's a bodybuilder here and they're entering a bodybuilding show anytime soon. There's no date we have to arrive by. There's no date we have to look a certain way by. So we're in this for life, and when you're in it for life, you just realize like, I don't have to do everything right away. So let's do this the right way, the sustainable way, because the most important part of any nutrition program, any exercise program is sustainability and adherence. I think a good place to start is just figure out where you might need the most improvement, and then to implement small incremental changes over time.
So maybe if you're just like not moving at all, like one good entry point would be like start going for walks, like 10 to 15 minute walks. What would you say would be maybe like the next entry point?
I think strength training is something that has a place in anybody's program. Now that's going to look different from person to person. So say you're going for walks now, you got that down, and you want to start introducing some strength training. And I think a lot of us have it in our head. It's like when we start working out, because we see it on Instagram and everything, we got to go like 5 or 6 days a week to the gym. We got to do chest day with the bros, hit biceps the next day. It's like, you don't have to do that. Because if you try to like go from 0 to 100 that quick, you're going to burn yourself out, and it's not going to work out in the long run. So if you're somebody starting out, just start with like 2 days a week, 2 or 3 days a week strength training. It's like full body days. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. It just has to be something, right? And I know it's difficult now because most of us don't have access to gyms right now. At least we don't in California. So a lot of us are either stuck with body weight stuff at home. Maybe we have dumbbells at home or household items. And that's fine. It's just doing what you can with what you have and where you're at, right? So if that's two or three full body workouts at home, cool. Do that. And then just keep taking note of how you feel. Like, take note of how you feel, how your body's reacting. Like, do I like doing 3 times a week? Is it sustainable? Do I want to add a 4th day? Is that okay? Should I not? Do I want to go back down to 2 days? Just kind of figure out what works for you.
It's so funny because I find myself super guilty of this even now, where if I don't have all the equipment, that like the perfect amount of equipment, then like I don't know if it's worth it for me to work out, or like I'm not completely rested, so and I won't be able to like hit a PR or like lift my heaviest, so like maybe I'll just skip for today. And I think that it's just like doing something is better than not doing doing half of something is better than doing literally not anything.
Preach. No, you're right. No, it's like, and I think again, I think we're all guilty of this too, kind of that all or nothing mentality, right? And unfortunately, that all or nothing mentality, like 99.9% of the time, it gets us nothing, right?
Yes.
So trying to switch from that all or nothing mentality to an always something mentality is so important. Like, really,
always something.
like,
I like that.
Yeah, it's like just always something. So let's say you missed your workout for the day for whatever reason. Going for a 10-minute walk, that's something. And say I don't know, maybe you ate more than you planned one day. I don't know, just drink an extra glass of water and have some veggies with dinner. That's something. And over time, those small changes, they add up. Those small changes, they add up. And before you know it, it's like big changes happen just because you've been really consistent with those small things.
For your own journey, how did you find the motivation to like start this new, very foreign, honestly like intimidating journey? Speaking from my own experience of just like going to a gym and people are looking at you and you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, how did you find that motivation and how did you keep doing it?
When I started, I don't know everything I know now. So let's preface with that. So when I started my weight loss journey, I was like everybody else. I tried like the crash diets. I told myself to lose weight to get healthy. I needed to eat clean Monday through Friday, or like every day of the week, no cheat meals, like no everything. And surprise, that didn't work, right? Because I would try to eat clean like Monday through Friday, and then the weekend would roll around and I would eat my entire kitchen, right? So yeah, it's hard. It really is. And like, as far as motivation goes, my motivation to lose weight was honestly, and I'm not happy about this now, but my motivation to lose weight was because I hated myself. Then, like, honestly, I hated the way I looked, I hated who I was, I hated everything about myself. And I thought that if I lost the weight, then all of a sudden all of my mental health problems would be solved. And I lost the weight. I did. I lost the weight, but surprise, all my mental health shit was still there. So now I was just smaller and still depressed. Right?
Totally. I think I don't want to say we've all been there, but I know I've definitely learned the hard way that losing weight doesn't make you happier.
No, it doesn't. If you have that stuff that's going on in your head, then like while you're trying to lose weight, get healthier, get stronger, whatever your goal is, then it's still going to be there. And I think that is the reason I'm so like passionate about like focusing on all areas of health, because we're all guilty of it. Whenever anybody thinks of health, our immediate reaction is to think about the number on the scale, right? But there's just so much more that goes into health. That's a piece of the puzzle, but it's only one piece. We have our physical health, yes. We have our mental health, our emotional health. We have our environmental health, our relational health, our existential health. Like, all of that matters. And they're so deeply intertwined and they all affect one another. It's like we all know how our emotions can affect what we eat, right?
Totally.
So,
or even like not getting enough sleep.
Mm-hmm. And like, or like you may notice if you're more likely to show up to like a workout class or show up to a workout if you have a friend there, right? If you have a friend there waiting for you, or you have like a favorite instructor or like a group of friends there, that's that like relational, that's that environmental health. It's hard. Like I'll say that it's easier said than done. It's really hard to kind of like break that relationship with the scale, but trying to show people that, hey, like, yes, physical health is one part of it, but it's only one piece to a larger puzzle.
How do you prioritize working out when you're busy?
I know I keep repeating this. By doing what you can with what you have.
But it's a good...
Right?
You're repeating it because people need to hear it.
It's something I've like worked on a lot in quarantine too. I've been forced to get really good at this. Is just like scheduling, taking a look at your day. Like, okay, I know I'm going to be working into this chunk. Where can I fit in like a little bit of workout? Even if it's something, it goes back to that all or nothing mentality, right? Even if we can't get like a full workout in, even if it's only like a 10 or 15 minute quick something, it's something still.
I got a lot of questions about how to get rid of the pandemic weight, because I mean, we're still kind of in it, but like you said, you're not moving as much. I don't know about everybody else, but like I'm kind of sad a lot and I'm eating a lot of like baked goods. And so do you have any suggestions on like, I don't know, it's a difficult question because I feel
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. And before we get into like the steps how to lose the like pandemic weight, I think it's important to note that any of the weight we gained during quarantine, whatever, it's not permanent. Like it's gonna be okay. I promise. And I don't know, I just think it's hard. Again, I think holding yourself to that standard, the same standard that we had for ourselves a year ago, may not be fair to ourselves. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I can't stress enough how normal it is to have an abnormal reaction when abnormal shit is going on.
Yes.
I don't know about you, but I'm going to classify last year as abnormal.
I hope so. I hope it's abnormal.
So again, it's normal to have that kind of response when abnormal shit is going on. So if anybody like put on pandemic weight, I don't like, it's going to be okay. But as far as losing the pandemic weight, from a physiological standpoint, it's going to be like the same as losing weight any other time, right? So the simplest way to put it is calorie deficit, right? You need to be burning more calories than you're taking in. But the methods you take to get there probably look a little bit different now, just because the world is different. Like for example, if we're not moving around as much because we don't have access to the gym, and we're just not burning as many calories because we're not moving, that's why it's that much more important to kind of structure things like taking like 10 or 15 minute walks during the day, so you are still like kind of like moving your body, burning the calories if your goal is weight loss, right? Yeah, and again, it just goes back to what you can do, where you're at with what you got, right? Mm-hmm. So even if that means you're just stuck at home with a pair of dumbbells and like some like laundry soap or something as weight, that's okay. It's something. Because as long as you do something consistently, you're going to improve. I don't want to oversimplify this because I hate when people just say like, move more and eat less. Like, yeah, no shit, but like how, right? Yeah. This is going to be incredibly individualized, but I would start by looking at where you feel like you might need the most improvement. Again, if you feel like maybe nutrition wise I need help, maybe I need to add more veggies into my diet. Cool, start there. Start by adding some veggies into your diet. If you need to start moving a little bit more, then just start going for daily walks. Make it a part of your routine, like in part of your morning routine. We just work better with routines now. Yeah, again, if you want to start introducing some strength training, if you're at that point, just gradually work your way into it. You don't need to go enter like a 6-day-a-week program written by Arnold Schwarzenegger right away, right? So just like 2-3 full body workouts a week, see how you're feeling, measure your progress, and then make any necessary adjustments.
We have kind of touched on diet. We haven't totally talked about it. And actually my philosophy on diet, I've totally taken from you and what you've posted on Instagram, which is like, I just add a shit ton of vegetables and then eat around. If I'm still hungry, then like, let's just add some more to that. Not more vegetables necessarily, but it's like, okay, then at least I know I'm getting the vitamins, minerals that I need to get. But so twofold question. One, can you kind of expand on my like rough barfing out of what you always post on Instagram? And two, what would you consider like a healthy diet? Like if I came to you and was like, Cody, what should I eat? I need to be healthy to lose weight. We'll say the goal is losing weight.
Again, it goes back to just finding something that works for you, right? Finding something you can stick to. And I think this is going to look different for everybody, but experiment, try new like methods of like making your vegetables. Maybe like try new sauces, try new spices with it. If you just want to put it in a smoothie because you hate the taste of the vegetables, like fine, do that. You're still getting your veggies in, whatever. Because whenever we talk about losing weight, right, I think a lot of people tend to focus on what we can take away, right? And I just don't think we are working our best when we're in a scarcity mindset instead of like an abundance mindset, right? So I think taking kind of like the crowding out approach. So like you don't even have to change a ton of stuff about your diet right away. Just focus on adding more of like nutrient dense food in there, more like veggies, more like lean proteins and stuff like that. As you start to add more of that stuff in there, you'll start to realize like you just don't have enough room for all that other stuff that we had. Like you're still gonna eat it every now and then anyway, and that's okay. Like I still eat ice cream and shit all the time. But yeah, so it's just, I like taking kind of that crowding out approach. So like whatever dinner you're going to have, try to have a protein, yes, but just add some veggies to it and then wait a little bit, see how you're feeling, and go from there. You don't have to do anything crazy right away. But I think every diet has qualities in everyone. So things like minimizing processed foods, drinking enough water, probably like having like 2 or 3 servings of veggies a day, and just trying to make like each one of your meals, try to have some kind of protein there, right? So I think those are probably 4 things to focus on right away, I think. And then you can experiment, kind of see how you're feeling, kind of see like what you can adjust, what kind of works for you. But I would try to keep processed foods to a minimum. And the reason I say that is because I don't want to start like demonizing foods, right? Because again, I eat cookies and stuff too. Like I'm a former 320 pounder. I still enjoy my foods. I don't want to start demonizing foods because I just think that creates an unhealthy relationship with food. But a lot of the processed foods are like, have you ever heard of like hyperpalatable foods? So hyperpalatable foods are essentially like this demonic like creation of like carbs, fat, essentially, that leave you wanting more. Right, so like you finish like, I don't know, like a box of, maybe you eat some brownies or some chips or something like that, right? And after you get done eating it, you want it more. That's by design, like from that company, right? You want it, you buy it, that's more money for them. So trying to keep that the processed foods to a minimum to, to reduce your chances of overeating, I think is an important step.
Yeah, it's so interesting because I feel like it is such a balance of, you want to keep like a healthy relationship with food. No one food is going to make you gain a ton of weight. And eating a cookie every once in a while isn't going to kill you. Cookies are fantastic. Like I hope you eat cookies if you like cookies. However, I will also say that like caramel corn randomly for me is that hyper palatable food that if I have it in the house and I take one bite, I will eat every single bag of caramel corn in my house that day. And so I don't buy it.
That's why I can't keep peanut butter in my house. Peanut butter's great, but I will eat the entire jar of peanut butter if I have it in my apartment. And it's not, and again, and I think that just comes down to being aware. That's not like punishing yourself or like, that's not like berating yourself or anything like that. That's just becoming aware of like, I don't know, your relationship with food. You're like, okay, I know if this is here, I'm eating all of it. So I'm just, going to keep that away from me for a little bit. And that's not blaming yourself or anything. That's just, I don't know, you're figuring out what works for you. That's all.
Exactly. Alrighty. So binge eating. I know it's like a scary word. I personally didn't realize, but I would binge a lot. And I didn't know that because the only version of that word I knew was in the context of like binging and purging or like eating so much. But how do you stop that? And maybe can you give us like a definition of like what binging is in the extreme and in maybe the lesser extremes?
Essentially binge eating is just taking in a lot of food in a short period of time. And I think it's a form, and it's hard to like put like just like a blanket statement on this because it's, again, this is really individualized, but it's a form of emotional eating, or most of the time it is. And again, it's hard to say like do this and it'll stop, but I think the most important first step for us to take when somebody suffers with binge eating or struggles with binge eating is to become aware of our emotions and our response to them, right? So a lot of times if I have a lot of clients that struggle with binge eating, and so something I'll do with them to help them become more aware of their emotions is whenever they go through an episode of binge eating, I'll have them write down like, what was I doing? Where was I at? Who was I with? What was I thinking? What do I have going on later in the day? And then I'll have them even go back even further, like earlier in the day of like, what was I doing earlier? Who was I with earlier? Was anything stressing me out? Who was I with? Where was I at? Etc. And every time that happens, I'll have them do that same thing. And then after a little while, you can kind of compare and contrast a little bit. And sometimes you can find patterns, right? Mm-hmm. So say like, oh, whenever this happens, I have this response. So if you start to find those patterns, you can start to look for ways to kind of disrupt that pattern, right? And a lot of times the patterns won't be evident right away, and that's okay, but you're still bringing awareness to the situation. You're still becoming more aware of your emotions and your response to them. And I think that's a really important first step.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I found for me, it was something where like I would eat super, super healthy, and it was something that felt sustainable for like Monday and Tuesday. But then by the time I got to Wednesday, I had eaten so few calories that I would smell like toast, and I just completely lose control. Now I'm like just eating everything in my kitchen, and I was told that it was because like my body is so starved for food. And so it was interesting to have my eyes open to like, yes, maybe something sustainable for a day. And like, I don't feel like I'm super, super deprived. Like I can just eat like so healthy on Mondays, but then on Tuesday, as the week goes further, I'm just, it's not enough.
And I think a lot of us struggle with eating like healthy consistently because we equate like healthy with eliminating all of our favorite foods and eating nothing but chicken, rice, water, and kale chips. And when it comes to your diet, like again, sustainability and adherence are the two most important factors of it. So because sure, if you hop on an incredibly restrictive diet, you may like lose weight like for a short period of time, but when that diet is over, we go back to what we know, which was the reason we started the diet in the first place, and the cycle continues. So yeah, it's just finding that balance. Again, most of the food coming from whole nutrient-dense sources, but realizing it's okay to have a cookie.
Totally. Like, yes, it's more than okay. Please have the cookie.
Yeah, I'm going to after this actually.
And I feel like another great point of that is that it's like, there's this misconception of like, you want the perfect meal or you're eating perfect. And it's like, eating the cookie doesn't take away the fact that you got so much nutrition and like nutrients and nourishment out of the rest of your meal. And you got emotional nourishment out of the cookie. So it's like a win-win.
And that's what's going to make it sustainable. Like
exactly.
That cookie makes it more enjoyable to do that. And if I enjoy it, I'm more likely to stick with it. So
we somehow didn't at all talk about Train with Cody. So I would love if you'd gush a little bit about all of the cool stuff you're doing.
So I started to the Train with Cody group because I was frustrated, especially around like New Year's times. Companies like to take advantage of vulnerable people looking to improve their health by selling them bullshit products and supplements, right? So I just wanted to give people a real program to follow. No like BS like promises or anything, like just a real workout program. And I'm really big on community, right? I think community is like a huge part of anybody's just life journey, not like past just health journey, but like just life journey. So that's why like I wanted to have the Facebook group, and everybody is so nice in there, like everybody's so kind. But yeah, so I wanted to give people something like a real program to follow. I wanted to build a sense of community where people can uplift each other, support each other, like even if they want to help each other, like check form, any suggestions, like things like that. But the most important part to me was allowing people to pay what they want for it. Just because so many people have been financially affected by COVID, I didn't want money to be the reason somebody couldn't aim to improve their health, right? So you can seriously pay like $1 a month for it if you want. It's cool. It's going great. Like people are enjoying the workouts. And again, people are just so freaking nice, and they're like, it just makes me so happy. Just like every morning I go like see everybody like complimenting each other and just being nice. I'm like, you guys, I love you all.
Oh, I love that. That's so wholesome.
There's just hundreds of people, and they're just like helping each other out. It's great. I love it.
How do I sign up? And second, what does it look like?
Go to my website, CodyTaggart.com. Every month you get the workouts delivered to your email, right? And I send an at-home version and a gym version of each. So wherever you're working out, you'll be covered. And they are 3 full body workouts a week with an optional 4th day. So yeah, it's, again, and I encourage people and I give people the tools to kind of adjust the workouts to their needs. So if you need to like increase the reps or decrease the reps, if you need to modify the workouts a little bit, we can give them like variations of it. I just want to make sure, again, I just wanted to give everybody the tools they need to succeed.
What about if I wanted to work with you like one-on-one? Do you offer that? And if I'm not in LA, can I still work with you?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's on my website too. If you there's just a little tab on my website that says work with me. Just fill that out. So you'll fill that out and essentially we'll email back and forth and then we'll set up a call and figure out how I can help you most. And I do offer like remote coaching. I love it too. Like that's my favorite part of coaching is just building relationships with people. And I always make sure to like, I don't know, just become friends with the client too, because I don't want to ever make it seem like just like I'm your coach, do this is it. Like I make sure it's like I am accessible to everybody. So I'll give everybody my phone number, like email, everything. I just want to make sure you have all the tools to succeed.
Amazing. So 2 more things. One is I know all of you viewers, you always ask if I do merch. I do sometimes. I don't have any merch available right now, but if you like merch, Cody has some sick merch and it's an awesome like story and just like new story market. Tell us about it.
Again, it started from wanting to build a sense of community and change the way people look at mental health, right? Because there's still that stigma around mental health. So I just wanted to create like a clothing line, like some merch where the focus is on mental health, but if somebody just wants a dope shirt, like here's a dope shirt too. Again, because I'm so big on community, what we did was, because I don't know if this is still accurate now, it may have changed because of the pandemic, but because suicide was still the 10th highest killer of people in the United States, we take 10% of all the money we make from it and we put it in this pot, and hopefully it'll probably be 2022 now. But with all the money we raise from that, the 10%, we're gonna throw like a big like festival, like a party type deal. Just like, I don't even know what it's gonna look like yet, but I want people to make friends. Like I can lead workout classes if we want. We can have like music, games, like whatever. Just trying to bring people together and change the way people view mental health.
You'll have to see it. And finally, where can people find you? I know we talked about your website, but anywhere else on the internet that people can find you?
Everything, all my socials are Cody_Taggart.
Easy peasy. Thank you so much, Cody. I'm sure we'll have you back eventually, but thanks for taking the time to chat. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
Thanks everyone so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you have more questions, and I guess maybe we can have Cody back again. But yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on notifications, and I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye. Wait, look at... Hi, little guy. Hello.